Hi there and welcome to another class on Camera Raw. In this class we're going to see how to make presets for our images. From developed images we've already done. Let's see how to save these presets, how they're organized and how we can move them from one computer to the other so that other users can use maybe the same adjustments we have on our computer. Let's go. Be fun, guys. We're going to select these 4 photos. We're going to open them in Camera Raw. And, well, what we're going to do is I'm going to look at how we have the photo hasn't been developed yet. We're going to develop each of them differently, and then that development is what we're going to save in the preset panel. If we go to the preset panel before doing anything, well, it will most likely be empty. In my case, I've saved a series of presets. Some that I've already done, and some I've downloaded from the internet. There are many pages on the internet where you can search for presets in Camera Raw. We can download them to our computer, and then if we put them in the right file or in the right tag, they'll appear here in the presets panel. These presets that are already loaded in this case are going to speed up the development process in an image, because if we click now on this one here, it's going to make this adjustment. If we click on this one, it'll make this one, and if we click here on this one, it'll make this other one. Each preset has a name. It can be a descriptive name or a name that the maker's given it. Some of the names are personal names. Some are names that describe the process that was followed to get to that adjustment. Like this one here, blue down, that will make the image a little bit blue, and if it says low vibrance, it's going to make it glow, like a little bit of saturated vibrance. Okay, so these are the presets that can be good for some of our photos, and others that are just to play with. Like in the case of the ones I have shown, a lot of them don't have a name that's descriptive. They have a name that can be, like, for example, this one here, Tinting Aqua. It gives like a blue color to some areas, and the rest is in black and white. And this one that's called Vintage Red leaves the photo with vintage red tone. And this warmer is going to make it warmer. We could go on forever because we could make as many as we want. Let's see first how to create our own. To put the photo back to the way it was originally, we know we have to go here and hit Camera Raw Defaults and go back to our original photo. By the way, if we want to have these developed, these default adjustments in which we don't have anything changed in the photo, we can make it so the image presets panel, we can go there and we can make it so that we have a preset called set to 0 or reset. So to create a preset, the same as in the snapshot panel, click here to create a snapshot. In the preset panel, we click here. We get the adjustment that we want to create in this preset. We can tell it to create all of the adjustments or just one in concrete. I'm going to select all of these presets, and the name is going to be Reset. In this way, when I give it the name Reset, it's going to show up here, Reset. These presets can't be moved. We can't move them or order them. They order themselves alphabetically. But when we make an adjustment, we add a symbol, it will go to the top. The good thing about having the reset preset at the top is that if we have it far down and we have a lot of presets, we don't have to go going up and down to look for it. So what we're going to do is create a new preset in which we're going to put in a dash and then reset. Whoops. Reset. This way, now when I hit save, it's going to show up at the beginning of the list. So when we want to go to reset an image, for example, I went here and I've done some things to the photo with the presets and I want to go back to the original image, I just have to go to the top, hit reset, and I have all of my image at 0. To a reset preset that I have saved, I just have to go on it and hit here on the symbol, this one here, the bin. Okay, so let's suppose that our preset window is empty and we're going to create our own adjustments. For example, we're going to make an adjustment here in this photo, in which we're going to make it a little more desaturated. We'll make this area here a little more important. We'll make the blues pop a little more, and we're going to take away some saturations from the green. First, we're going to develop the photo. Let's take away some light here in the most lighted place of the photo. I'm going to lower the exposition and heighten the shadows. I'm going to give it some clarity and some more intensity. Now I'm going to go to the parametric curve, and in this curve I'm going to raise the contrast of the image just a little bit. And in the point curve, it would be interesting to create a curve where each channel is going to, well, it's going to be different so that each blue stands out from the others. In the red channel, for example, I'm going to bring down the red shadows, making that cyan color pop. Okay, I'm going to do something similar in the blue channel, but in this case, giving it a little more blue to the shadows and keeping the light in their place. We already saw in the curve episode how we could improve or make kind of a more personalized adjustments with the curve, and in green, we're going to add a little less green. Okay, very good. So this is giving me the adjustment from here to here. Now I want to go to the details panel. We're going to give the image more details. Not much, because it's put at 400 ISO. I already saw in a class on how to improve a photo's definition. And in photos we've done with an ISO that's over 100, we shouldn't raise the amount too much. We'll put it here. We'll put the detail at a low setting, then in masking, so that in the smooth areas where there's no contrast, so they don't get ruined. Here we can see the before and the after. We give it more definition. We can see there's no noise at 50% at least. If we put the image at 200%, neither. So we're not going to touch this part here. We're going to fit it into view again, and we'll go on to the HSL panel. Here I'm going to use the targeted adjustment tool, and we're going to desaturate the green. We'll do that giving more importance to the blue tone. Let's give a little bit more saturation to the blues as well, and a little illumination. We'll leave it there. So the next panel I'm going to work on is the effects panel. And there I'm going to give it a little bit of dehaze, and I want to give it like an old-timey look, like a granulated film. This is just because it's something that I've thought of now. You can do whatever you want with your photo. I'm going to give it some grain to simulate the look of a photo taken with film, you know, like a chemical photography. And I'm going to give it a vignette so that the corners have less light than the center. And this is going to be the photo I'm going to stick with, and I'm going to go to the panels, the preset panel, and I'm going to create a preset that would have a name, a curious name. I can give it a descriptive name. I'm going to create here a new preset. And in the new preset, instead of telling it to save all of the adjustments, I'm just going to save those adjustments that I played with. I played with the basic panel. I played with the parametric curve and the point curve. I played with the sharpening, but I didn't touch the noise reduction. So if I deactivate this, I could still use this preset for photos that I would have to later adjust for noise reduction. I'm going to unmark the noise reduction adjustments. I'm going to leave the HSL panel. I did play with it, but I didn't touch the split toning. Let's unmark transform, the lens profile corrections, chromatic aberrations, and the lens vignetting. But I'm going to keep marked the one I did in the last panel, in the effects panel, so the graining, the post-crop vignette, and the dehaze. I can also leave the camera calibrations marked that we saw in an earlier lesson and the process version. I hit OK and I give it a name. So we're going to give it a name like Big Blue, for example. Something funny like that. Bluesy. I hit OK and there. Well, we have here our blue down that we had and the bluesy that I just made up. Now we can see how the photo looked originally. And we hit this one, and this is the preset that we have. The funny bit in this is it's going to save a lot of time later if I want to, for example, add the bluesy preset to this photo. It would look like this. So it doesn't look too bad. And I have this one, and blue down would leave it like this, and this one like this, and this one like this, and this one like this, and then 0 like this. Well, I've created my first preset. We could take this preset out of the computer, telling it that I want to export this preset to an XMP file, or that I want, well, I can go to the file where the presets are, and there's going to be a preset there called Bluesy. I can take it to a pen drive if I want. I always export to XMP, and then it will export to an XMP with that name. Where is that file now? Well, it's going to be in the file where I got these photos from. There's going to be an XMP file there called Bluesy. Well, that Bluesy XMP file can be taken to another computer, and when I open the presets file, tell it to load that preset. So I'm going to go to the presets, and that's now here, Bluesy, and reset. I'm going to load them, and I would get them here. So it's a way of sending the presets from one computer to another. In the meantime, if we're just going to be using one computer, or if we just want to see it on one computer, we can simply, when we click here, we use the window, we're going to put in the name, and then it's going to show up in this column. Okay, let's reset this one and let's look for a black and white preset with like a lot of contrast and warm tone adjustment. Let's develop this photo, and I'm going to crop. We can also use this cropping in the preset if we want. Here we have the crop. Let's kind of give it a basic development, but in black and white. So this time we're going to do this with the grayscale. This way, I can use the target adjustment tool and decide which tones I want in my black and white. I'm going to darken here a little. Some is going to be lighter, some is going to be darker. Okay. Let's go over there. Let's increase the photo's contrast, set the clarity. We're going to create a medium contrast point curve. Okay. And we're going to go here to give it a little bit more sharpening. And after, we're going to go to the tone split panel, and we're going to create a warm tone adjustment, as we saw way back then. We're going to give it a little, we're going to make it a little bit lower around here. Very good. And now in the FX panel, I'm going to take away some haze, and I'm going to add in a little bit of grain and a little bit of vignette. And I want that to not be so marked in the photo, so I'm going to raise the softness. I want it to be less round. Here it would be more, and here less, so it would just affect the corners and less on the central area. Now I would have my black and white with some grain in high contrast and warm tone. So now I could go to presets and save a preset called black and white. So maybe it be, the and symbol, W, warm tone, and grain. Okay, there we go. Let's hit OK. And here we can decide what we want to save to our preset. In this case, I want everything, so I'm going to hit OK. And here we have the black and white, warm tone, and grain. If now I wanted to apply the same adjustment for this photo, we just click on it, and then we just have to go to crop it, and there we would have it. My adjustment is ready. If the adjustment we have or the end result isn't to our standards, we can always look at what that we did in that preset. So we could decide here like to lower maybe the illumination a little bit or a little on the whites, so we can keep a little of the details in the clouds. So any of the presets is going to give us space to maneuver and regulate the photo how we want to later on. Like in this one, we could go here and see how it looks. Okay, then maybe it would look better if we straighten the photo. And with this, we would have the photo with this preset. If I don't like it, well, I reset and I hit bluesy. Or I reset and I go to this one. It's always convenient to go to reset because there are adjustments that may have just one part of the adjustment activated, so they're going to be adding up one after another, and we can't see how the adjustment looks. We're just seeing a sum of the presets. So it's better to reset and then go to the other adjustments and see how they look. If we take our time to make some presets, the ones that are probably the most useful, we're going to use the most. In the future, we're going to be able to save time. Imagine that I make a preset to get rid of noise reduction of high ISO. So if I go here and I reset the photo, imagine that this is a higher ISO, maybe 6400 instead of 400. I would go here and leave it all at 0. I would go to the basic panel and I would remove a color noise, maybe at 25, maintaining the color detail and the color softness and illuminance noise reduction at 30, keeping that detail at 30 as well. With this adjustment, without touching the sharpness or the curve or any kind of basic development, I would go to the presets panel and I would make a preset called noise reduction. We could put in a low noise. For example, all right, that name, 6400. Okay, hit OK, and then the next time when we have a photo at 6400 ISO, we can just come here to the presets and I will clean the noise of 6400 because I made a preset that would like initially help me with the photo with that high ISO. Well, that's what we can do with the presets in the Camera Raw panel that are very useful to save time and to make some adjustments that are very personalized to certain photos, though we don't have to repeat a photo over and over again. So we're nearly at the end of the classes in this course, and we have one lesson left where we're going to see how to develop a photo from beginning to end and how to save it for later uses. So, see you in the next class. Bye.